And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, welcome back here to the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. Another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media, always providing you the timely truth. Centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate plans, tax plans, and about 80 other categories of consumer advocate content, all designed to engage you. We're going to entertain a bit, but most importantly, we want to help you win in any marketplace, no matter what you're facing.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Save our hotline number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline. We want to make sure you save that number in your phone. You continue to call and text with any questions you have. Every week I'm pleasantly surprised with how many phone calls, text messages we're getting. People looking for an attorney referral. They've got things happening, litigation potentially happening, all types of situations with credit and financing needs that they have. And of course, real estate being our bread and butter. My wife and I own a team, the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, and our goals are just to give you the highest level of customer service to where it's going to be your best and best real estate transaction you've ever had in your life, and you're going to feel compelled to leave us great reviews online and also send us referrals. So let's jump into our content here. We've got some expert contributors in the house. Scott Kepler back in studio, Mortgage Approval Group. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks, Brandon. It's always good to be here. Always excited to bring up that next topic that's going to induce those phone calls and inform some people out there of something that maybe they didn't know.
Yeah, man.
Uncover some mysteries today.
Market's still rocking. Tax season is behind us, and
finally,
what are you seeing? What's kind of your pulse of the market out there?
Interest rates have been great. They've been low. We've talked over the last few weeks about how they keep hitting an additional low, and so that's sparked a lot of refinances for those that are out there that had a little bit higher interest rate over the last year or two, and are interested in maybe making some moves because they've got a little bit of equity built and the rates are down. It might be the perfect storm for refinance depending on the situation.
Absolutely.
And of course what they plan to do with it, what their goal is.
Absolutely. Yep. Great time. It is one of those great times to buy and sell. And sometimes you say, well, how could it be? Normally it's better for one or the other. We're actually in a balanced market right now. It's a very unique time in real estate history. And also in the studio, Ron Fuller. He's got his background in real estate as well, and a longtime friend of the program. Welcome back.
Hey, Brandon. I always enjoy being here. Yeah, this is a great balanced economy, great balance with the housing market. Today I want to talk about merchant fees for your listeners that use credit cards in their business. And also, we want to talk about some refis. Maybe it's a good idea, or maybe it's just a trap and an equity sucker. So we'll get into that.
Sure, absolutely. A lot of ways to help you here with the show. We want you to make sure you save our website as well, consumerqb.com. Bookmark that website, consumerqb.com. A plethora of information available for you there. You can see all of our expert contributors, again, CPAs, financial advisors, all types of different types of attorneys, home services, folks that are really consumer advocates first, and then their profession is second to them, and they want to help people. So anything you have that you have a question on, we'd love to talk to you about it. Phone lines are open, 813-670-7372. Give us a call or a text anytime, and we'll make sure that we get back to you before our head hits the pillow. That's our promise to you. And we've got an event coming up tomorrow night, Be Your Own Brand, BYOB. Now, this is going to be a great networking opportunity for any business owners, business professionals, salesmen and women. It's going to be at Nickel Lounge. It's Nickel, New York Kitchen Lounge. And it's learn how to brand yourself to stand out in a crowded business environment. It's more important than ever to brand yourself. This is Thursday, April 18th. 6 to 9 p.m. Nickel is the sports venue, the lounge venue, 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa. BYOB, Be Your Own Brand. We'll see you there. It's going to be a great time. And this segment is brought to you by Brothers Easy Moving. The official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is Brothers Easy Moving. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, Gary Thacker and his team, they moved us to our new home, and they did a great job. They showed up with 2 trucks and 6 guys. They did a great job. They wrapped all the furniture. They were very, very pleasant to work with. They asked us, Mr. Rhymes, where would you like this place? Where does this go upstairs? They did a great job, and they're among the best reviewed movers in all of Tampa Bay. On Google, they hold a 4.6 rating, an A rating on their Better Business Bureau and Angie's List, and a 4.5 rating on Yelp. And they've also won the Super Service Award multiple times. Reach out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give them a call and let them know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Talk to Gary Thacker, he's the owner, and tell him that I sent you, and he's going to hook you up with special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got a hot listing. One of the things we wanted to do with this show is just kind of give you these properties as a pocket listing, like right when they hit the market. This one is a property down on Indian Oaks in Largo. This is a beautiful property, 5 to 10 minutes from the beach. It's a pre-listing, so we don't have all the professional photography done yet. So if you're watching our TV show on Apple TV, Amazon, Roku, Sony, Google Play, you're going to see the layout here. So 3-bedroom, 3-bath property, $449,000, and it's just a gorgeous location, a great layout with this home. Needs a little bit of updating depending on what your likes and dislikes are. Beautiful property location, Indian Oaks Trail in Largo, just listed this past Sunday. Just a great opportunity. Also, property in River Hills. This is on the river in Temple Terrace on River Hills. Now, this property and all of our properties can be found at PlatinumMVPTeam.com, by the way, Platinum MVP Team. Now, this property is on River Hills in Temple Terrace, kind of that USF area. You're right on the water, right on the riverfront. And it's a nice property. There's some nice flooring. You got a fireplace, updated kitchen, partially updated kitchen. But look at that drone photography from Fabre Frameworks, painting that picture of the lot layout, where it's located, and just a gorgeous opportunity to, clear that backyard, build a nice family playground in the back, and have your boat dock right behind the home. So that's a great opportunity to have great real estate here in Tampa Bay. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com, PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
And let's jump right into this great content. We got Scott Kepler in the house, decades of mortgage experience, a business owner for many of those years. And we actually worked together at one time back in the day on the wholesale side of lending. So I think it's important for people to understand when they're choosing to go to a bank or a mortgage broker, a mortgage loan officer. They get confused sometimes and they don't know the difference. But Scott, you have wholesale experience and retail experience. Maybe start with a little bit of analysis of what exactly that means and how you can help the consumer.
Certainly. The difference, I guess, between wholesale and retail is who the end consumer is. On the wholesale side, I basically represented a national lender and a bank, and I went to the mortgage brokers and built relationships with them to learn about their clients so that I could help them by providing the mortgage products that we had available, and help them process that for that particular consumer who ends up being the retail consumer, if you will.
Right. On the retail direct to consumer, direct to.
Exactly. So I never, when I was on the wholesale side, never dealt directly with the consumer. Of course, I had years of experience in doing so as a broker prior to getting into the wholesale side. But I think where that really helps me is that I've literally closed thousands of loans in my career, because at any one point I was working with anywhere from 30 to 50 different broker offices who were closing, multiple deals per month. Yeah. And, when they came across a scenario, or they came across a situation or a puzzle, if you will, which, I've said before is my favorite part of the business, is trying to get all those pieces and make it into a pretty picture that, results in what the, consumer or the borrower, if you will, has in mind as their end goal. So, from that experience, I've had an opportunity to come across just about any situation you can imagine.
Yep.
Because I was dealing with hundreds of loans each month, and that has helped me on my retail side just because I've had experience with that situation in the past. So, I tell people, if you've got a unique situation or you think it's unique, it's probably not. The chances are I've come across it before, and I have a good idea of how to handle it already.
Yeah, probably not as unique as you think it is as far as the consumer's point of view. And from a lending perspective, Scott's probably seen something similar to it. And from a banking's perspective, if you just walk into the big bank on the corner, the bailout guys, as I call them, who they are, don't support them. Those are the guys that they're going to turn you down.
Right.
They're not going to be able to help you because they don't have the same niche programs that you can when you can shop amongst all of your different, lenders and vendors.
They have a lot smaller box, if you will. You know, this select group of consumers will fit into the bank box.
Right.
But that even for those folks, that doesn't mean that that's the best deal out there.
Right.
Just because they want your banking business and they're going to give you extra points on your credit card for using them, or give you a little bit of a rate reduction for having your bank accounts with them and have it on auto draft. You still should compare, and shop.
Yep.
And that's where I come in, is I can be your personal shopper as a mortgage broker because I'm hooked up to about 50 different lenders.
Yes.
And with those 50 different lending relationships, it gives me the ability to not only shop the interest rate for you, but make sure it's the best program.
That's the key right there. That's the key. Shopping and making sure that you're going into it. We're coming into a break. When we come back, I'm going to have Ron weigh in on that as well. We got a break coming up here, but when we come back, more from our expert contributor, Scott Kepler, in the house. Ron Fuller is going to weigh in as well on things happening in the merchant fees with credit cards and what he's seeing in the economy. We're going to talk a little bit about tax time being over as well and what we've seen from the overwhelming majority of the CPAs. We've seen some different trends coming out of that. So stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife and I own and operate that company. We're up to 10 agents now and growing. She also is a professional in feng shui. She can help you with the design. She does feng shui, consults, home clearing, energy healing, couples healing, meditation workshops, lots of other cool things in that space. Got awesome reviews online, and it's a really unique aspect of the real estate business with things happening in the market. We're going to help you, update with those things happening. So Feng Shui of Tampa Bay is her business. And, of course, PlatinumMVPteam.com is our website. We're hiring agents right now as well. If you're looking to get into the game or maybe looking to make a change, join the #1 team. Gary Keller Williams, and $1 billion investment in technology. And it's showing we are growing our market share. And there's no better place to be, especially when you look at the profit sharing, the training, the education, the events, the office spaces that we have. A lot of the value that we bring, of course, with our radio and TV show model, networking events, lots of cool things that we're doing. We would love to talk to anyone out there that is considering a career in real estate. PlatinumMVPteam.com. And this segment is brought to you by the Bilmar Beach Resort. Our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show is the Bilmar Beach Resort over on beautiful Treasure Island, Florida, filled with fantastic and generous amenities to make your vacation that much more special. The Bilmar Beach Resort has been one of the most sought-after destinations in the Treasure Island area for years. So whether you're planning a quick business trip, a wedding, just a friend's staycation, if you're local, we call it a staycation here. If you're down in Tampa, you're up in Tampa, you go over to the beach, it's a local staycation, or a long-distance vacation, reach out to the Bilmar Beach Resort, 10650 Gulf Boulevard, Treasure Island. Now, give Clyde Smith a call. Let him know that the real estate quarterback sent you. Take him up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're back here in studio helping you win. Got a hot listing here on Coquina Key. This one is about to go under contract. I think we've had a lot of showings here, but I'm just going to go ahead and mention it anyways. 4101 Coquina Key Drive Southeast. Now, this property's got deep water access. It's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home. 2-car garage on Coquina Key. Just a gorgeous, when you're going over that area, have you ever driven over there, Scott? That just, when you drive in that area, it just feels like, it feels like you're just slowing things down a little bit, doesn't it? Like you're going into Margaritaville on one hand, right?
It's nice. Yeah. I mean, that's that Florida feel that you look for.
That's right.
Especially if you're coming from up north or something. It's definitely the Florida feel you look for.
I took a trip to the East Coast this past weekend with some friends, and there was a great quote. They stayed at Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. I stayed at a friend's place, but we spent a lot of time there around the pool and whatnot. But it was one of the quotes from Buffett. It says, with palm trees and views I can't believe, why would I ever want to leave, or something like that.
Right.
It's just a gorgeous, South Florida in general, even compared to North Florida. You look at things happening, and of course the real estate space is stable. It's a stable market. We still have these naysayers out there. Oh, what's going to happen with this? And and here's how I look at it too. If you think about some of the threats that we have, let's just look at a SWOT analysis as a area, as a real estate company or real estate team here, right? So the strengths are, we know what the strengths are: beaches, 40 miles of beaches, all types of museums, baseball, football, anything you can imagine, fine dining. Awesome. We know the strengths. Now, the opportunities are there as well. I think opportunities would be for the Bay Area is bringing in more industry, bringing in higher level jobs, higher quality level jobs. And we've had all the local mayors, Bob Buckhorn, St. Pete Mayor Kreisman, Clearwater Mayor Credicus. They do a great job on that, bringing in that. Opportunities for improvement on infrastructure. I think we could all agree on that. Maybe some better roads, some better bus lines. But let's look at our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So as far as weaknesses, what do you see, if any, weaknesses that we have here?
You mean as a community?
Yeah, as a Tampa Bay.
I think the public transportation is probably part of it.
Good. Good point.
You look at a lot of the big cities, is that they've got some sort of a railway, but I know there's talks about that. Mm-hmm. I just saw on the news, I think today or yesterday, that they approved the shuttle from downtown Tampa to to downtown St. Pete as a full-time
Nice.
shuttle, and I think that's awesome. I know that my fiance and I, we tried to, get a ticket on it the other day, and it was all sold out.
Wow.
But there was a lot going on. That was the same weekend as the ladies basketball tournament
Yep.
too. So I'm sure that had something to do with it. But here nor there, I think that running, between Tampa and St. Pete, that would be a nice afternoon for somebody from Tampa or from St. Pete to just kind of mix it up a little
Exactly.
bit.
Yeah, I like that.
without having to drive down, the interstate to do it. It's just makes it more in your backyard. And I know for me, I'm a baseball fan. I love baseball.
Yeah.
That might make it a lot more convenient for me to make it to a weekday baseball game.
Right.
Because I can, not that I want to try to park, downtown somewhere, but there are parking garages,
Right.
and at that time, everybody's leaving. So
Yep.
you'd be getting in, park at one of the parking garages, grab the shuttle over, catch a game, and, get it back. I don't know what their schedule is, but
That's a good point.
To me, like that makes it more accessible. And so I think that they're definitely making good progress on that front.
Yeah, I agree. Same thing to you, Ron. What what strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats here in Tampa Bay? What do you think about that when you think about the economy?
I know I sound like a broken record. We have the weather, we have the real estate, we have people that retire that want to live here, we have people from other countries that want to park their money here,
Yep.
and it's beautiful.
Yes.
Margaritaville, we live in Margaritaville as a state.
Yeah,
we
that's
also do not have a state income tax.
That's right.
So I have to search real hard. I'm peeking and squinting to trying to find a weakness.
Right.
And I do, of course, I agree with Scott, public transportation, and just we're so busy.
Yep.
I mean, think of the tourism that we pull through this state every day.
Yep.
Not only Central Florida, but Tampa as well. So, I think transportation is always going to be a bit of an issue, but I can tell you that all of the things that you want to look for, the heartbeat of this state, is rock solid.
Yeah, and then you think about, okay, so let's go external threats, right? So because I want to go back to that conversation that people have, then they say, and they start getting nervous about real estate. I still hear this sometimes. They're like, "Oh, I just don't know. Is real estate going to go down?" And I just think never is it going to go down again, because we had the craziness that happened in 08, which we've talked about many times on the show. I don't want to waste a lot of time on that, but. Let's think about what's happening right now. So if you look at student loan debt, okay, that's something that we can all agree is a little bit of a, it's a little bit of a threat out there for a national perspective from a macro. But let's say worst case scenario, something did happen. We did have a bubble in that space. Where's the money going to go? It's going to go into real estate more.
That's a great point. Our state isn't completely dependent on universities, even though UCF is huge, the Gators, the Seminoles. But our state thrives in tourism and in real estate.
Right.
And people, that's not going to change. I mean, people have to have a roof over their head.
That's right.
And what's really unique about Florida is we have an international flavor of tourism.
Yes.
You look at Fort Myers, they have a tremendous amount of folks from Germany. South America really sponsors a lot of folks from the Miami area. So even if the national economy had some kind of hiccup, we still have people coming from all over the world. And in fact, in the news today, they're talking about how America's economy is rocking compared to the rest of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So we agree then that these potential, this language, these verbiages, and a lot of times it's scare tactics of the media. Still, the scare tactics. But when you look at, and I saw an interesting story the other day. It talked about even with the SNL crisis in the '80s, you had the Y2K scare of all the clocks not turning to 2000, right? Some of this ridiculousness that rolls out there. But even with all those things that did happen over our history, real estate has consistently gone up. So,
Always.
And it maybe it didn't go up to 10, 12, 20% that we've seen sometimes in the past, but we want it to be 3 to 5%. That's where we want it to be. The healthy increases, that's going to help us, definitely. So if you just joined us, Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. Scott Kepler's in the house. Mortgage Approval Group, support your local lender here in Tampa Bay. Ron Fuller as well, real estate expert, longtime friend of the program as well. So what else are you seeing, Ron?
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was the merchant fees. So for your listeners, and you have an intelligent audience, for your listeners, yeah, absolutely. The merchants out there, there's a law that was passed, a bill that was passed, where a merchant's not required to pay that fee for credit cards. Now, for particularly restaurants and bars, which is a big part of our economy in Florida.
Right.
Their profit margins typically are not as high as people think. 3, 4, 5% is what a typical restaurant or bar are working on with their gross profits. So
Tough industry.
It's a tough industry. And credit cards, I mean, I've got rewards, I've got airline points. Merchants have been paying for all these great things that your credit card companies are offering. So they're typically paying about a 3% fee every time you swipe your card. Well, now merchants are not required to pay that. They can actually give it back to the consumer as a convenience. In fact, it's really common in Europe now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so we'll dive deeper into that, and we're going to talk more about the local real estate market, things happening, current events happening, things coming up here. It's a great time of the year here in Tampa Bay. Just a great place to live, work, and play. Stay with us. Make sure you follow us online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. We'd love for you to follow us and like us there. And we'll be right back after this short timeout.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by TrueLeaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. We specialize in helping our sellers maximize the profits on the sale of their real estate properties by featuring them ways that other real estate companies just simply cannot compete with. We're on Apple TV now, Amazon, Roku, Sony TV, Google Play, 85 plus outlets, plus our daily 5 o'clock drive time show here on 1380 The Biz, the Wall Street Business Network, Intelligent Talk Radio. On the weekends, FM 102.5 The Bone as well. So we're broadcast in multiple places. Want to make it easy for you to find us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 80-plus show partners, CPAs, financial advisors, attorneys, home service specialists, and many ways that we can help you. And this segment is brought to you by WholebodyFuel.com. Chef-prepared, convenient, healthy, delivered food directly delivered to your home or office. And what else do you have in this world if you don't have your health? Now, we just had Kevin drop off a new batch, so I figured I would just show them to you. Now, this is the athlete. This is lean. This is their lean style. Now, this one is chicken with peanut noodles and steamed bok choy. This is a really good one. Let's see what else we have here. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if you talk nice to me now. like that one show of American Pickers. You ever see that one? That cracked me up. That guy kept saying, "You talk nice to me." You know. All right, beef taco bowl with cilantro rice, grilled corn, and caramelized onions. That's what's in that box there. And let's see. We'll show one more. Lemongrass chicken, sweet chili, sweet potato noodles, and steamed broccoli. So pretty healthy stuff, and it just tastes great. And the cool thing is you carry it with you to and from your commute. If you're going out to listing appointments like me, I'm actually going to go meet with one of our estate planning attorneys after this, making sure I got the estate plan tightened up since I made a new move. So, you carry it with you to and from your commute, and now you pull out this meal. You got, food right there with you. You don't have to run around and hunt down your next meal. You ever been in that position? You're running around. It's like, oh, man, I got to find a Wendy's or a Chick-fil-A or whatever you like. And, we know that stuff's not as good for us as it should be. But WholebodyFuel.com. Check them out. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we're back here in studio. We got a great lineup for you today. We got Scott Kepler in the house. Mortgage Approval Group, local lender. Support your local broker. He can broker to many, many different lenders, different programs as well. Get you the best possible deal, rate, and terms. Ron Fuller in the house as well, real estate expert, longtime friend of the program here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, Willie Nelson rescued 70 horses from the slaughterhouse. Find out about that story in our Feel Good segment. But I want to let you know about this hot listing here on 1701 Mariner Way. This one's in Tarpon Springs. This property, the owner's motivated on it. We just had a chat this morning, and he's super motivated to move this property. Complete renovation job on this home. 1701 Mariner Way, gated community, half an acre lot, gorgeous renovation, beautiful property. He just put in new landscaping as well and added sod and added some dirt to slope off the backyard. Beautiful property, 1701 Mariner Way in Tarpon Springs. Just a great opportunity. Also in Pinellas County, 11556 110th. This property is a great opportunity over in that middle Pinellas County area. It's 11556 110th Terrace in Largo. And a great opportunity here. Concrete blocks, structurally sound, beautiful property. And then you walk out back. Right out back, you go out and you're on the Pinellas Trail, which is one of the really cool bike paths, jogging path here that we have in Tampa Bay. Check out Platinum MVP Team for all of our real estate listings. PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, let's go back to Ron Fuller. We kind of left off with Ron. He had some ideas he wanted to chat there a little bit about. And so go ahead and pick up where you left off, Ron.
Yeah, sure. So the merchant fees, if you're taking credit cards as a business, particularly a restaurant,
right,
there's a new way to do it where you're not paying for those airline miles. It's a convenience fee that you charge back to the customer if they choose to use their credit card. It's very common in Europe, and it's coming here. In fact, Kroger, a large grocery store chain north of us, they actually no longer take Visa due to these high credit card fees that they're paying for.
Wow, I wonder, we got to maybe talk to Jason Salmon again, get him back in here and see about that cryptocurrency, see if crypto is making a play in that space, because I feel the sentiment. I see what you're talking about. And a lot of times you see where retailers will say, you get a 10% discount if you use cash, if you pay with cash.
Yeah.
So you know why they're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, that's restaurants don't have a high profit margin. And if they're paying about 3% every time you swipe that card, that's costing them a lot out of their bottom line. It really is. And credit card companies are very generous. I have a wallet full of nice, generous credit cards, and I feel guilty because I know the merchants are really paying for my mileage and dinners I'm getting and cash back that I'm getting. So, that's definitely a thing that's coming.
Yeah.
So you can get ahead of the curve. Now, the other thing that we can talk about is the mortgages are, when someone's been in their home 6 months, they're going to start getting these letters. And it's going to say, hey, you can refinance your mortgage, lower interest rate, FHA program. You got to be careful. Some of those are legitimate, and some of them are just simply a refinance, dressed up to look like some kind of benefit or program when it may or may not really be a good benefit for the consumer.
Yeah, and that's why we want them going through the show. Everything you need is right here under one roof with the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're your super connector when it comes to that. And really, when you think about your net worth being in your network, that's really something that I'm a true testament to. Over the last 6 years, we built this show up. We brought on the best expert contributors in all these different areas. So, yeah, Scott, why don't you talk about that for a moment? You know, when people get letters in the mail, solicitations, and it also brings to mind when servicing rights are sold as well.
Absolutely. You know, what happens is when you purchase a house and that mortgage gets filed in the county courthouse, it becomes public record, and so marketing companies will utilize that information, and they'll send you very legit looking, letters in the mail in most cases, with, information about the mortgage you got because it's in public record.
Right.
It'll say how much you borrowed and, what bank it was that did the mortgage, and, they'll make it look official and offer you an opportunity to refinance when, the reality of the situation is if you read the small print, it's got nothing to do with your mortgage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of junk mail that goes out about your deed too when you first purchase a property.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, you've got a new, deed. You need to get an official copy of it. Well, you're going to get that for free, from the title company, and you can pull it up online just like they did, to get that information. So, just be, kind of leery of anything you get in the mail. And if you're not sure, then, reach out to, a professional that either handled your mortgage or, reach out to somebody, on the show here, or to your real estate agent or the title company and somebody who knows, and just ask. I get clients probably, weekly. I would say that text me a picture of some letter they got in the mail because I warn them ahead of time and tell them, if you're not sure, send it to me and let me tell you for sure if it's legit or not.
That's right.
And a lot of times it's, that or a servicing transfer notice like Ron was talking about. When a mortgage goes from, being closed with that particular lender to moving over to their servicing department, a lot of times it'll have the same name, maybe have the word servicing in it, and just because it's transferring inside that company to the servicing department, sometimes they'll send out a letter stating that, or sometimes it's a whole new bank. But in actuality, you should be getting 2 letters, one from the company it's being transferred to, and one from the current company that you're with that kind of verifies everything.
Right. It should be. That makes sense. Yeah. Call us on the line here, the 813-670-7372. Make sure you save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372. Any comments, questions, concerns, we'd love to talk to you about it and be that consumer advocate for you. And even if it's just a text message, you can do that too. Text messaging is kind of a way most people, especially, nowadays. But we'd love to help you there. ConsumerQB.com. You can submit an email form there if you choose to as well. ConsumerQB.com. So, yeah, we've got Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group, local lender, support the local economy here, and Ron Fuller as well. Here as well. So kind of a mixed bag of conversations here, but what else are you seeing out there, guys? I mean, it's an interesting time here. We just came out of tax season, so tax season's behind us. We're in the middle of Q2, kind of early stages of Q2. I like to think about, goals and success, and, maybe just why don't you talk to me a little bit about success, Scott? Like what's made you successful, in your career?
Sure. I talked about it earlier. I think just the the experience that I've had throughout my career in different facets of the mortgage industry has really, enabled me to help people that one didn't think they could be helped, or to also streamline the process because I've been on both sides of it.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to tell somebody, how to do something if you haven't been on the other side of it. So I've utilized that to really streamline our internal process with our team, to be able to, to handle a loan, almost like an assembly line.
Yes.
In that certain people are are responsible for certain things, so we can hold those folks accountable, to doing the job. And at the end of the day, our goal is to have the loan ready to close before, your actual closing date, so that we never miss a closing date.
Yeah, I love it.
And, that experience has helped me, develop that, so that our consumers, have a good experience, and then they'll tell their friends and their family, just like you were talking about.
That's right.
Is we want to give you that 5-star experience, and that's what our whole team has got ingrained in their head, is that we want to give that 5-star experience.
That's right. ScottKepler.com for more information from Scott. And when we come back, more from Ron Fuller. I want to ask him the same question, and we're going to talk more about Willie Nelson. Rescued 70 horses from the slaughterhouse. Find out what Willie Nelson's up to here on the Consumer Quarterback Show when we come back in our Feel Good segment right here. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back after this short break.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leaf on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty here in Tampa Bay, helping you win on your real estate transactions, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you. Also, recruiting agents to our team as well right now. So there's an opportunity for you as an agent to come on our show potentially. We could feature on our program. There's a lot of things we're doing to create innovation in the real estate market. And we got our BYOB event coming up on Thursday night this week, Thursday night, tomorrow. New York Kitchen Lounge, Thursday, April 18th, 6 to 9 p.m., 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa, right across the street from the International Mall. BYOB, be your own brand. Learn how to brand yourself to stand out. We're going to teach you how to get business, how to grow your sales, and also going to be a lot of our expert contributors there from the Consumer Quarterback Show, so you can meet some of the folks that you hear on radio. Kind of cool to put that name with the face or that name with the voice, I guess, sometimes. So here in studio, helping you win. Scott Kepler in the house, Mortgage Approval Group, Ron Fuller as well. And let's jump into our feel-good segment of the day. Every day we're going to tell you something positive here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Willie Nelson rescued 70 horses from the slaughterhouse. So he's not playing on tour or playing music. Willie Nelson spends times at his Texas ranch with 70 horses roam, and all of the horses were rescued before they could be sent to slaughterhouse. Nelson recalls his ranch, Luck Ranch, as explained to the news station. When you're here, you're in luck, and when you're not, you're out of luck. So my horses were probably the luckiest horses in the world, Nelson added. They get hand-fed twice a day, and they were just ready to go to the slaughterhouse is probably the last thing they remembered. So they're happy horses. The 700-acre plot in Spicewood, Texas, about 30 miles from Austin in the hill country. The horses have plenty of open spaces to roam. However, with 70 horses under his care and approaching his 87th birthday, Nelson has not been able to put down the guitar just yet. He said, I retire after every show. I say, that's it. I'm not going on no more. But then we hang out a while, and people, his band, feel like playing, so we go and play again. Oh, Willie Nelson. That's interesting. Funny story. Whiskey for his beer, or whiskey for the men, beer for his horses, he says in that one song. So, feel good segment of the day. Let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored.
All right. Top tips, nuggets of advice. Let's start here with Ron Fuller. And top tips, nuggets of advice, or even a word on success, as we were talking.
Well, success, I'll tell you. I say it's attitude. Zig Ziglar says attitude determines your altitude. I believe that's so true. Also, what you listen to. I think you should surround yourself with successful people who are going to bring you up, never bring you down. And I'm a musician. I love music, but listen to talk radio. I know it sounds self-serving, but listen to things that are going to feed your mind.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, I'm big on subconscious programming.
Yes.
At night when you go to bed, have something positive playing in your ear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like one of my favorite things I've done is I've took out one of those small recorders. You can even do it on your phone now.
Yeah.
But play some classical music in the background. Have your handheld recorder there and just recite your incantations, what you want to happen, what your goals are, or you can do just basic things like I'm happy and healthy. I'm so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources. Once you say these things thousands of times, your brain's going to attract it to you. It's a neurotransmitting device. It's going to attract those things. So it's up to you to be successful, especially nowadays. We have the most opportunities for success because of the internet. The advent of the internet makes everybody on a level playing field, and you see it on the negative side and the positive side with some of the different things that have come out against, people like the Bill Cosbys of the world, those types of things. So it brings out these things as well. So it kind of shines a flashlight. But you can definitely grow a business in your downtime in the evenings as well. Scott Kepler, top tips, nuggets of advice.
I think the biggest thing is that, if you've got a question, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. You've got a full network of professionals in a variety of different arenas, that can answer that question for them.
That's right.
And that we really do want to be, a consumer advocate. We want to give you our advice, and give you a fair shake at making a good financial decision, or a good building decision, or a good, whatever the case may be. We've got, a big, great network of folks out there, and your BYOB event will be a great time for listeners and consumers, and to come out and meet those advocates. But if you've got a mortgage related question or real estate related question, don't be afraid to reach out. I love to, I don't want to say I love to hear myself talk, but I love to give you some advice because it feels good at the end of the day when I go home and I know I've helped somebody you know,
That's right.
either with the financing on their house, you know, purchasing a house, refinancing, putting themselves in a better position, or help them accomplish your goal, or if it's just to answer a question. You know, that's what I'm here for, and I'd love to talk with you.
Yeah,
So-
that's what it's about. You know, being that consumer advocate, putting this specialized knowledge. You know, I've heard it said, you know, if you could pick what's your number one valued resource, right? What's your number one thing you have? A lot of people might say their car, their watch, or their house. You know, it's really your number one value is that cumulative knowledge, skills, and abilities that you've built up through high school, through college, through your first few jobs, through your career, and now you know you have all of this knowledge and skills and abilities, and you know, putting that to use, I think, is a great part of the human experience, is being that consumer advocate for someone, you know, giving them the direction that could literally change their life.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been doing this it's my 20th year. You know, 20 years is a long time. We've closed thousands of loans, like I said earlier.
Yep.
You know, in my career, I've come across that situation before, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
You know, and if I haven't, that's awesome, because it's just one more thing that I get to learn and experience, so that I can help the next person who's just happens to be in the same weird predicament that you're in.
That's right. Yeah, being that consumer advocate is a big thing for us as well. Want to make sure we help people, you know, understand those decisions, especially when it comes to coaching your own team. I really enjoy that aspect of it as well. Teaching more and more about negotiation. Love negotiation, the strategy, and it's like the game behind the game happening from a mental perspective. When you're thinking about conversations you have with people, there's some really interesting tactics that you can employ to get to that underlying reason of why the consumer or why the other side is at the point. And one of the first things that one of my mentors talks about is not thinking of the other party as adversarial. You know, that's your partner in the negotiation.
Right.
You know, when you're negotiating with someone, it shouldn't be an adversarial thing. It's like, this is a counterpart. It is a counterpart, but it's a partner, because without them, you're not going to be able to come to that solution that you both want.
We're all on the same team. We want the same solution. It's just a matter of getting the details worked out.
That's right.
That's ultimately what it comes down to.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Finding those underlying reasons, those things that are going to hold people back. And there's a lot of cool tactics and strategies that you can utilize. One of the simplest for people to understand is a mirror. You know, it's a mirror is real simple. Is whenever you're talking with someone, what you do is you just repeat the last 1 to 3 words they just said. You know, when you repeat the last 1 to 3 words, or the key word that they just said, and you pause, what are they going to do? They're going to expound on that point that they just made.
Sure.
You know, so with them expounding more, you know, you're able to follow that up with calibrated questions. You're going to ask questions on why they feel that's important. What's going to happen? You're going to uncover more reasons why they're in their position, and you're going to be able to find that position
it's all about having that conversation and that open communication. You know, like you said, we have the same end goal in mind. You know, and with the details, we just need to figure out, you know, what's holding it back, like what's keeping us from getting there.
Yep.
You know, from my side it's this, from your side it's what, and you know, we get there and we see you got to give and take, just like with any relationship. You know, it's just a negotiation is just a shorter term relationship that you have with that person.
That's right. Yeah, could be anything from the kid's bedtime to negotiating a deal to, you know, the book I was reading, he's talking about hostage negotiations, you know, where a lot is on the line.
Sure.
And so that's a cool strategy, is the mirror. And then you also have another one called a label. You know, a label is real simple as well. This is where you simply would say, you know, it seems to me like you feel like this, or it seems to me, or it feels like this, and it seems like that. And then again, you're opening that person up to more reasons why they feel that way.
Sure.
You know,
and I think it's important to note too is that we keep telling people, reach out to the people in our network that, you know, are part of the Consumer Quarterback Show, because we are expert negotiators for what we specialize in.
That's right.
You're going to be able to expertly negotiate the sale of a property for somebody, or the purchase of a new home for somebody. And I'm going to be able to expertly negotiate, you know, that mortgage, you know, both the terms and the interest rate and fees and all the parts that go into that.
That's right.
You know, Ron's going to be able to come in and help with, you know, negotiating the credit card fees so you can make your business more profitable.
Yep.
You know, it's all about, you know, taking those skills that we've honed over the years and, you know, just having people not be afraid to utilize them.
Yeah. Absolutely. Reaching out. Hey, great show today. Scott Kepler, thanks a lot. Mortgage Approval Group, local lender, support your local economy. Ron Fuller, real estate expert, longtime friend of the program here. Thanks again. And for all of our listeners, our viewers out there, we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing, carry it with you to and from your commute, hand it to that person that you see in need. There's a lot of ways that you can get involved with the community and do something kind for one another. And follow us online at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, Consumer Quarterback Show pages on Facebook and LinkedIn. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.